All right, let's head to the NFC East. Who wants to kick us off on that one? I know. Well, okay, I already know the answer. It's gonna be Jacob because Ricky wants to go last. He already told me that. So, Jacob, floor is yours.
Okay. In last place,
Here we go.
the New York Giants at 6-11.
Man, that preseason game told me all that I need to know. 6-11 though.
Yep.
Hold on, what?
6-11.
They have a tough schedule this year. I have them going 2-4 in division.
You're a lot more generous than me, buddy.
At 3, I have the Washington Commanders or the Washington football team or whatever. Washington insert name here. At 8-9. I have the Cowboys with the 7th seed at 9-8. 5-1 in division, by the way. One loss. They're splitting the series with Philadelphia.
Making the fucking playoffs. Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Oh, it's playoffs and then loss.
The fact that you
Don't
have
worry.
them making it, like, what did you do to your playoff predictor to make that fucking happen?
No, let me tell you here. They get a win over the Saints, the Giants, the Steelers, the Falcons, splitting with the Eagles, the Commanders, the Giants. They beat Carolina, and that gives them 9 wins.
I'm more curious about the other divisions of what you got cooking to get them into the playoffs at fucking 9-8 on the 7 seed. We'll get there when we get there, though. I feel like
number 1 seed though.
I feel like you're gonna be
number
really
1 seed.
I feel like you're gonna be really disrespectful to me here in a minute. But anyway, continue.
Or not number 1 seed. Number 4 seed, winner of the NFC East. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles at 10-7, 3-3 in division.
Okay.
I honestly, the Eagles could get a losing record this year.
It's tough.
I don't know. I'm iffy on the Eagles, talent wise.
I agree.
This division is gonna fucking suck.
It's gonna be pretty bad. It's gonna be bad this year. It's gonna be real bad.
So going over to me, like I said, you're a lot more generous than I am for the New York Giants. I do not have the Carolina Panthers with the number 1 pick. I have the New York Giants with the number 1 pick. I have the New York Giants with a 1-16 record.
Ooh, boy.
I think this team's going to be dog shit. Genuinely, I do. That offseason New York Giants thing, that's all I need to see. And then I saw the preseason games, and that's all further nail in the coffin of what all I need to see to know that this team's going to be dookie. 1-16. The Commanders, 2-15. I think it's going to be a rough outing for the Commanders this year. The Cowboys, I have going 9-8 as well.
Okay, why were you so mad at me then?
Because you had them as, like, yours played out where they're the damn 7 seed making the damn playoffs. That tells me that that tells me you did some shenanigans in other divisions to make that happen.
No. I had nothing to do with that.
Don't lie to me. You're literally wearing a fucking Cowboys jersey. Don't you fucking lie to me.
He's back.
And then I do have the Eagles coming in first with a 13-4. But man, I can honestly see their floor being like an 8-9. Genuinely, like I really can. I can see the Cowboys getting a couple more wins. I can see the Cowboys getting a couple more losses. Like if we're going floor ceiling here, Eagles, ceiling I think is a 13-4. I think their floor is like an 8-9. Personally,
I could see the winner of this conference going in with the losing record in the playoffs.
Could see that too. I could see that too. So with how mine played out, Eagles are the only team that made the playoffs, and they are the number 2 seed. Should also add that the Falcons are the only team of the South, obviously, and they were the 4 seed for my lineup so far.
All right, boys, get your popcorn ready. Jacob, get your little paper ready. I know you ain't got your board on it, but get your paper ready.
Oh, here we go.
The New York Giants are going to be 2-15. I do have them at a 2-15.
My paper.
Get your paper. You ready for this? I have all 3 teams, Washington, Dallas, and Philadelphia. I have all 3 of them with a 9-8 record.
Wow.
With the tiebreaker, I have the Washington Commanders winning the division this year.
What? Wow. Not what I would have expected.
Gentlemen, one of the things, gentlemen, that we have to do, and I'm telling this to you now, yes, the Cowboys are still going to make the playoffs as a 7 seed because even though I think they're going to be utter garbage, and I think here's the thing though, guys, Cowboys in general, it's not that I don't think they're just going to be utter garbage. You have so many egos right now trying to get contracts right now that they're going to focus more on their contracts than they are playing football. And that's just the bottom line with it. We have no running back whatsoever. We're not going to have a running game to save our life. Like it's going to be in those 9 wins. It's going to be very, very hard to pull off 9 wins. I could see us going 7-10. That's how bad I think the Cowboys could be this year. And and I hate it because to me, I still feel like regardless of record, regardless of his postseason play, in season Dak is still a very good quarterback in season. He's won 12 games the last 3 years. You still have a great receiver in CeeDee Lamb. You have probably the best, if not one of the best, not the best, but he is one of the best defensive players in the NFL. And Micah Parsons, there's still so many gaps we have right now. And with this could be Zach Martin's final season. We have a few more. It could be their final season. Like it's bad. Like even next year's probably going to look even worse. But when you look at the schedule, and this is the whole thing, I'm not buying that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win more than 9 games. Not yet. To me, when you have the letdown that you had at the end of last season, and listen, I understand that you get rid of old players, you bring in some new talent, all this other kind. I get it. They've drafted really well, but I think there's more of a problem with Jalen Hurts than what I think meets the eye. I don't think Jalen Hurts. I think the hype for Jalen Hurts has completely fallen off with this group, and I could tell at the end of last season it was really, really bad. But if you look at Washington's schedule, Washington does not have that tough of a schedule, and they could very. Now I went 9-8. But just looking at their schedule, they could win 10 or 11 games with this schedule. It's not that hard of a schedule. It's really not. And if I recall last year, they split with Philly last year. They could not beat Dallas last year, but I do have them splitting with Dallas this year. And then, of course, I have them sweeping the Giants. Just about everybody sweeping the Giants this year. It's not even going to be close. And so yes, and to answer, for us to answer your question, Alex, especially for me to answer your question, we will have to get deeper into why I think the Cowboys will get that 7th seed, because I think there's only one division that's going to be super, super competitive this year above everybody else, and I think the rest of them are just going to be there to just play football. And so that's just what I've got. I have the Washington Commanders, Washington, Dallas, and Philly all tied at 9-8, with Washington getting the 4 seed and the division win over both of them as far as tiebreaker goes.
All right, so let me follow up on some chat stuff here. So let me just follow up on a couple things. I guess I had to go over here because it won't scroll on OBS for whatever reason. So just shouting out Steve's picks. He said Giants 4-13, Commanders 6-11, Cowboys 9-8, Eagles 13-4. So I'm glad we're all on the same page with the Cowboys here. All right, but let's go beyond this. This is why I was laughing the whole time. Chad said, that sounds like a Tyler take. Steve said, and on that note, I'm out. Ricky Dunn lost his mind. And Chad said 100%. That sounds like a Tyler take took me out.
Now listen, I want you guys to also understand, Jalen Daniels is a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
There's not much film on him. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a decent football player. I don't think he's going to be like a Hall of Famer great type football player. I think he has a potential. I'm just telling you guys, he has the surrounding pieces. Their defense wasn't completely pathetic last year. They do need some work on offensive line. They need some work on receivers, but I think he has just enough. And remember, this is the same group. They upset a few teams last year. So I'm just telling you guys, I think this team's going to be a lot better than what meets the eye.
I'm just okay. Few takeaways from your predictions. One, I'm pissed the fact that they just are kicking Sam Howell to the curb.
That's unfortunate.
I agree.
That's unfortunate.
That man needs to go somewhere else, because I think he's NFL talent.
I think he's in Seattle, isn't he?
Is he now?
I think he's in Seattle.
I thought he was still on a rookie contract.
Nah, they traded him, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's in Seattle.
Behind Geno, right?
Yep, which is honestly potentially a great thing for him, because I think the Seahawks are going to underperform, which could mean Sam could get some playing time.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing. Yes, we have a lot of prima donnas on our team that are wanting money. But I think one person that does deserve the money is CD.
Yep.
I really, 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 really hate our owner so much. So much. I would never wish death on anybody, but I wish he would go to a retirement home and never be seen again.
So, but here's the thing, Jacob, and this is kind of where you and I could go push and shove, even with the owner, the owner situation. If you look at their roster, and I know that you were out whenever I brought this up last year. There's a lot of contracts besides those three who's going to be up after this year and next year. There's a lot that they have to pay. When you're taking a quarterback, a receiver, and one of the best defensive players in football, you're looking at a combined $100 million on a $400 million salary. And there's still well over 50 players that you have to pay that $300 million to, which only averages up to about $6 million per player. And when you're talking about position by position, offensive lineman, what is a great offensive lineman getting paid these days in the NFL? About $20 million. That's some of the best ones are getting paid. So if anything, the market in general has completely changed compared to what it used to be. This is not, this isn't 1999 where you can get away with certain stuff anymore, especially because the market is so high. I will say this much. This is one reason why I said they need to let Dak walk. You can go get a quarterback, even if it's Sam Howell. Let's say for giggles they get Sam Howell. Okay, I'm making a point here.
I like it. I like the point.
Sam Howell, you could pay him $20-25 million, and you would have enough to pay Micah Parsons. You would have enough to pay CeeDee Lamb. That's $30 more million that you're going to have by not paying a quarterback so much. And I understand the quarterback market. I get it. But until the NFL owners and the commissioner get together and say, okay, we understand that the quarterback position right now is breaking your banks, because that's what they're doing. They're breaking the bank. We have players like Trevor Lawrence. No offense to Trevor Lawrence. I'm a huge fan of Trevor Lawrence. Always have been. But there's nothing in their right mind who says he needs to be paid $55 million a year.
Facts. And I'm a Jags fan.
And listen, I love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl. I think he's going to do wonders for the Bengals. You don't need to pay him $55 million out of a rookie contract. That's just he's coming out of a rookie contract. You don't need to pay him $55 million. I'm just telling you, the quarterbacks are breaking this entire deal. And when you have players like CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, I'm trying to think of others who I can think who have Christian McCaffrey. These guys who have reset the market on some of these positions that you're used to not paying near as much on, it becomes a problem. And that's why in Jerry's world right now, we've drafted very, very well. We've drafted very, sorry, that was my dog. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Anyways, we've drafted very, very well. And that's becoming the issue now. Because now you have to pay these players, and we can't afford all these players. That's the situation that we're in right now. And it's just unfortunate, and it looks like, I'm telling you, we got to cut ties with Dak Prescott. If we don't cut ties with Dak Prescott, we're screwed for the next 5 years. Completely screwed.
Yeah, I think, you make a good point. You make a bunch of good points, including, Jerry, go get Sam Howell, please. Please.
Yes. Sam Howell for the Cowboys. Yeah.
Trey Lance has been shit in the preseason. He's so fucking bad.
Who was it that said you got Trey Lance? Was it last week? Was that you or was that Alex?
Was that Tyler?
I think
it might have been Tyler. It might have been Tyler.
That sounds like a Tyler take to me.
Yeah, that sounds like something Tyler would say.
No, but I totally agree with you. I think that with the markets being reset consistently, salary cap needs to go up across the board.
It went up to $400 million, but the thing is, it's not enough because now, like I said, when you're paying quarterbacks $50 million a year, it's 56 other. What's this? It's a 59 roster, right? 59 on the roster.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that's 58 players that you have to divide $350 million up to. It's almost impossible to do.
I
It's
agree.
not impossible. It's not impossible. It's just improbable. Like there's just no way unless you're like the Kansas City Chiefs, where you could talk some of these players into taking pay cuts. That's why Patrick Mahomes isn't getting paid 50 plus million. He wants to win championships.
Big facts on that. He's taking the Tom Brady approach on that. No, I mean, when it comes to the salary cap question, I feel like it's always been a thing where it's like QBs need to be in like their own little salary cap. QBs need to be in like their own little thing, not, completely separated from everyone else, which I totally agree. Now, how you regulate like how much they get paid per team, like how much team has to spend, I guess that's a different conversation because if they're their own salary cap, then couldn't all teams, in theory, pay QBs the same amount of money, right? But it's also like, well, you have a set amount of money for quarterbacks to fill out your entire quarterback room. So it's just like, okay, well, how much do you want to fill out this? Plus, it's always good to have a nice backup or whatever. So there's a lot of I feel like hoops to jump over whenever it comes to that conversation. But I think it's an important conversation to have personally. But will it ever happen though? That's going to be the question. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I think it needs to happen, but I don't know if it ever will.
Yeah, it definitely needs to happen. But I mean, it just like I said, I don't think Jerry has much longer. I think eventually he's going to give it to his son and let his son take over.
Needs to.
I know he's desperate for a Super Bowl, but at this point,
he can still enjoy one in retirement. What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. And it just he has the money to retire. I agree with Jacob. I think he just needs to retire.
Like, I mean, what are we doing? He can still very easily, enjoy retirement, and enjoy a Super Bowl with the team. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be so straightforward. You know what I mean? But I guess whatever, right? Taco potato pizza. Tyler, what the hell are you on about? I just look over and that's the first thing that you see in chat is taco potato pizza. I was kind of distracted. I ain't gonna lie. So the mobile version of Playoff Predictor, which is where all my picks are, is aggressively fucking up for me. So I'm trying to get all my picks over to the desktop version so I can swap between stuff. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple minutes.